What's up, everybody? Today we will be playing Still Water. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am the Media Demon Zed, one of the two hosts of this channel. This game is called Still Water, and I'm going in blind. I quite literally just downloaded it 5 minutes ago. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here anymore, Nina. I feel like I'm going crazy. Calm down. Just talk it out. So many strange things keep happening one after another. Every day this jam dripping sound. I thought it was just something leaking at first, but I check every faucet, every ceiling, everything, and it's still there. Still, I hear it everywhere, constantly echoing in my ears. Please listen to me. Oh, but the water, the damn water. Water? Yes, it's everywhere. Pools of it are all over the house, and every time I try to mop it all up, another one will appear. There's no end to it. Ah, but it's at night when it's the worst. It's at night when it comes. What are you talking about, miss? I hear someone or something walking along the hallways at night. Maybe it's just my grandfather. No, Nina, it's not him. I thought it was, but it's not. But I've seen it, that thing. I only glimpsed at it once, but I'm more than certain that thing was not your grandfather. Ever since the night, I would lock my door and pray it would walk past my room. I don't know what's going on, but I swear it just keeps walking. Always walking on pools of water. Sometimes I hear them randomly. Their steps are erratic and faint, but I can still hear them. Just a steady pace up and down the halls. But I think recently it's no longer like that. What do you mean? Every morning I follow to see where the wet footprints lead. It walks towards something more clearly than before. It would walk down the halls, climb the stairs, and turn corners. All of it I'd follow. Eventually the trail would come to a stop, and it would stop right by your grandfather's room. His room is... If this is some kind of sick joke to scare me away, then you better stop. It's not a joke, Nina. I meant it when I said that there is something wicked going on in this house. That can't be true. I know this is a lot, but you have to believe me. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sorry, Nina. It's okay. I understand. Thank you for taking care of my grandfather up until now. I'm sorry for all the stress I've caused you. I'll be sure to pay you right away as soon as I... Nina, listen to me. I don't know what's happening around here, but... Does anyone around me? No, I don't think so. Something terrible is lurking in this house. I don't know what it is, but please, as soon as you get back, take your grandfather and just leave this place. Leave? I can't just leave everything behind. We have nowhere else to go. Please, Nina, this place is not safe. The rumors, they're true. The curse is real. My family is not cursed. But, Nina, at this rate, you and your family will... Enough! Look, I don't know what you heard or saw, but I can't just leave things like this. Whoever or whatever they are, they will answer to me. I won't let them have their way. I don't have time to be wasting my energy on this stupid curse. So if you can't help me, then so be it. I'll find a way. Nina, my grandfather is all I have left. He is all I have left. Diner, 7 a.m. Amid a foggy morning, there sits a man by the corner of a booth. He drinks black coffee and, depending on his mood, occasionally orders a donut. Today, it was just black coffee. Ugh. I swear, I'd never seen that amount of paperwork in my life. Freaking mountain worth of it. You're a valuable member of our team, Hugo. My foot. I'm starting to believe that I was bamboozled into joining their agency. Ha! Hugo Lawrence, age 30, takes a good look at his cup of joe and chugs it all in one sitting. He then continues to grumble to himself about last night's grueling work in the office. I really need to find a different job. As he contemplates his poor life choices, he looks out toward the early mist. There was something inherently terrifying about the fog to him, how it engulfs everything and nothing. Even if it disappears, it always leaves behind traces, proof of its remaining. Even in a quaint little town like this, I can't even run from my fate, I guess. Hugo finally stares as the compiled newspaper clippings she put together. Some of them from recent events, but mainly all were past headlines of missing person cases. No matter how many times I see this, it's still just as hard to look at. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this music down a bit. Oh, that was not what I meant to click. An all too personal reason. Seeing strange things come with a price. In the end, I'm the one doing this to myself. Sounds rough. Mind if I join you? Mind if I join ya? An annoyingly familiar voice interrupts his train of thought. He slowly looks up to see the one responsible, although reluctantly. God, this music. I realized I came so turned down before. Chat, y'all don't know this, but I turned the music up earlier because I couldn't hear anything. And now I hear everything with my headphones on. And God. Good morning, Hugo. Hugo slows and turns away from him. He then gathers the files and shoves it back into the binder. Meanwhile, the tall man takes this as an initiative and sits at the opposite end of the booth. He greets the waitress, pressing by an order himself. A hefty body breakfast special with an extra plate. As usual, the waitress is happy to oblige and goes back to the counter, relaying his order. What waitress is just happy to oblige? Okay, this game's already showing strange signs, and it's not the fact that there's a cursed house. The man... The man then looks back at Hugo. He sees the empty cup and the now jumbled newspaper clipping. All the while, Hugo's trying to ignore him. You really should eat something with the black coffee. Not ordering any donuts today. I'm fine, Noah. I'm just not in a... I'm just not in the mood, okay? Not even a little. There is a momentary silence between them before Noah disturbs it once more. But too bad for you. I ordered a big breakfast for the two of us. Two? As if the world could grace Noah with an even more perfect punchline, the food arrives. Why the hell did you order for the two of us? Just eat what you want to eat. Don't worry about me. Wow. Monkeying Master Cheryl. Right, Hugo? Are you even listening to me? Come on, we both know that if you don't eat now, who knows when you faint again. So open wide. Noah DeLeon, age 27, a natural-born charmer, is also the only person in the world who lovingly threatens him to eat every day. A pensive look, Hugo finally gives in and eats the generous spoonful without further complaints. It's good. Right? Good food will always help cheer you up. Damn him, I got swept away again. By the way, the chief will be out for a business trip. She mentioned it will be for a couple of days. When did she tell you this? I didn't hear anything about it. Yesterday, I think. Yesterday? She told me to sort out the cabinet yesterday. She didn't mention anything about a business trip. I guess it was a pretty sudden one. Well, I mean, she did tell me to tell you. And lucky me, I know where you go every morning. You know what? I'm not surprised anymore. Well, what do you want to do? We technically have the day off. I'm gonna head back to the office. There's a couple of boxes I didn't get a chance to sort out. In that case, I'll come with you. Also, Chad, leave a comment down below. Did I accidentally read Noah's lines as Hugo? Why, you could just rest for the day and pass up this opportunity to get to know you better? Would it? After their enlightening banter, the two of them finish their breakfast, pay for their meals, and head to Hugo's car. As Noah opens the door to the passenger seat, he notices a bloodhound sleeping inside. The big dog stirs at the sound of the car opening and lazily stares up at Noah. I'm sorry, big guy. Then closes the door while trying not to make too much noise to disturb its occupant. Colby. The sound of his name, his heavy-lidded eyes slowly peek to see who calls for him. It is his one and only partner, his human. As it finally realizes who he is or where he is, the old bloodhound stirs up from his sleep, pounces at Hugo, tail uncontrollably. Good morning again, Colby. Had a nice nap? Colby, 8 years old, Hugo's most faithful and loving partner in crime, has the biggest tendency to just sleep all over the place. Noah, who is witnessing all of this from the back seat, chuckles to himself. He is amazed and slightly defeated at Hugo's sudden surge of energy. Ha! Doesn't matter how many times I try when it comes to boosting up his mood, no one can beat Colby. Agency, 7:50 a.m. The three head back to the office. The space is just the same as Hugo left it. A decent organized mess. To his credit, for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believed he did a fair job. albeit it could have been better. Wow, you really outdid yourself, Hugo. It looks less crowded. Aw, shut it, will ya? I said I was gonna get to it. Thanks, boy. Before... The hell's a before? Before Hugo can continue to give deserved head pats, he notices someone. A woman stands timidly peering outside from the storefront. She looks a bit frantic and even more restless with her disheveled, disheveled, and ill-fitted clothes, drawing emphasis to her already too visible petite frame. The woman tries to grasp the door handle several times but stops before she could touch it. Her brows furrow, agitated and distressed about something. So much to the point it is preventing her from just simply reaching out for help. However, when she finally makes eye contact with Hugo, she immediately rushes in. I'm so sorry. Dad, how much you want to bet this is Nina? I know that the close sign is up, but I saw you come in and Are you alright, miss? I need your help. My grandfather. Yep, Nina. He... Before she can continue explaining, Noah swiftly cuts in front of Hugo and intervenes, in all too practiced manner. It's okay, miss. We'll hear what you have to say. But please, why don't you sit right over there? Hugo has to have scoliosis. He just has to. Like, I mean, God, does he slouch. Noah gestures to one of the empty seats at the other side of the office. The poor woman hesitates for a moment. She clutches desperately to the strap of her purse. Yeah, her eyes focusing apprehensively on them and at the gestured seat. After mulling it over, Noah's offer, she quickly glances back. Not. Damn, I cannot speak today. Bear with me, chat. The woman then walks toward the corner of the room and sits at the edge of the sofa. Her posture is wary and tense, giving no signs of comfort for even this brief moment of peace. Can you start off by telling us your name? I apologize for earlier. I'm usually a bit more composed than this, but I guess I'm failing at that too. My name is Nina Mortimer. Ah, hello, Miss Nina. My name is Noah De Leon. I am one of the assistants here. That big guy next to you is our other lovely assistant, Colby. And the one brooding over here is Private Investigator Hugo Laurent. I'm not brooding, I'm just tired. And our chief is away on business, but I think we can still accommodate you. So, how can we help, Miss Nina? For just a moment, Nina appeared a bit more lax, more hopeful, maybe even relieved from this warm welcome. However, she once again tensed up. The guilt and shame come rushing back to her, visibly by the creases of her brow, as she once again realizes why she is here. I need help watching over my grandfather tonight. Tonight? Yes, I know this is a strange request, but my hands are tied on this. It has to be tonight. I'm sorry, Miss Nia, but I don't quite understand. Your grandfather in any danger? I think someone is trying to take him away. Take him? Miss Nina, I think you should contact the police right away. They are far more equipped at handling this kind of situation. Oh, so this is probably like a private investigator. No, they're not! I've tried requesting their help but they've given me the same answer verbatim for weeks now. They would send someone out to watch over the manor for the entire day, but by the end of their routine, they would always report back nothing unusual. They saw no one else leaving or arriving in the house other than me or the caretaker. Despite telling them all in detail about the letters and all the strange things that's been happening, there's nothing they can do about it. They just sit around until it escalates even more. Sorry, Chad, I forgot to do Nina's voice, but I'm getting back into it. I can't wait any longer, any more than this, then it'll all be too late. If only I knew who Lewis was. Lewis. She lets out a gasp. Her hand shot out to cover her mouth. Alf, realizing she had said too much so carelessly. She tries to avert their gaze, but Hugo stares persistently at her. Miss Nina, who is Lewis? Are they the one causing all of this? Once more, she contemplates. Her brows knit closely together as she bites her lips nervously. It's as if the words she wanted to say have suddenly died out, too heavy to even utter. A mistake she can't take back. Before the silence stretches further, Noah speaks to Nina with a gentle and reassuring tone. Miss Nina, I know it's scary, all the things you've mentioned to us so far. No one should ever have to experience, especially by themselves. And I assure you, we'll listen to all of it. I promise. Wild and maniac eyes search deeply at them, trying desperately to discern any doubt or mistrust on their faces. However, all she sees are people who are willing to give their time to simply listen to her, to actually help her. From this alone, Nina looks at the side where her purse is and it opens it. Tucked inside one of the pockets, she takes out a single, slightly crumpled envelope with a pigmented red wax seal pressed in the middle. At a glance, Hugo can tell right away the letter appears to be a bit more worn out and antique. Gods. And yet, despite its delicate form, it remains well preserved, well kept. It's as if the letter itself was untouched by time, forever waiting to be opened. Grandfather has been receiving cryptic letters for the past month now. The letters didn't come with an address or the name of the sender, but this one is different from the rest. This had the name Lewis on it. As she hands over the letter, Hugo noticed her hand slightly shaking. Nina is still avoiding his gaze, but he knows she is trying in earnest. But before he could reach out his hands, he sensed it. A faint shift in the room, unnoticeable to the others, but all too glaringly clear to him. There is something very wrong with this letter. Suddenly, Hugo recoils his hand away in pain, like being struck with something sharp so spontaneously, so memorable, that even if the pain disappears within seconds, a hint of it remains. Something so small, akin to a prick from a rose's thorn, or more like a paper cut. That's not how you would say it. A paper cut. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. No, I'm fine, Miss Mortimer. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Hugo stares squarely at the cut. A thin red line starts to form slowly at the top of his index finger, trailing down and stopping just above the first crease. A red so clearly visible it's taunting. doesn't look like a normal paper cut to me. Let me get you a band-aid. It's fine, Noah. I don't need one. But really, it's fine. It doesn't even hurt that much. Noah takes one good look at him before sighing exasperatedly and sitting back down in his chair, still eyeing on Hugo's hand. Hugo shrugs and returns his attention back to the letter, but this time, luckily, nothing happens. For to reach all the way out here with just a letter alone is truly terrifying. Carefully, he removes the contents of this envelope and unfolds it. At first, it looks like any other letter, normal written message. A person named Lewis. Is that Lois? I'm gonna stick with Lewis for now. A person named Lewis is asking the other, Henry, would you come meet him by the lake at midnight, needing to share something important with him. However, what's eerily striking about this is not the letter itself. Peering at the bottom of the page, a message scrawled, unlike the rest, stands visibly out to Hugo. A message that shouldn't be there. Remember our promise, Henry? When did you receive the letter? Yesterday? And your grandfather, where is he right now? He's currently back at the house with a caretaker. I promised him I wouldn't be out for too long. I made an agreement with him, you see. Oh, what sort of agreement? The caretaker we have now agreed to watch over my grandfather, but only during the day. Before nightfall, they would leave exactly at the same time. Before nightfall? I wanted to believe that this whole thing was an elaborate scheme to scare my family away. I know this sounds crazy, but at one point, I thought everyone was in on it. The mail carriers, the officers, the caretakers. Everyone had a hand in making our family suffer. But this one was different. Up until now, I'd never heard of anyone by that name. Not a relative or a family friend. But they clearly know who grandfather is. If I don't do something about this, I'll lose him too. Just by uttering the words alone, Nina begins to break down. The stress, the anxiety, the fatigue, all of it was finally catching up to her. Her body clutches toward her hands, pressed close to her eyes, as she tries to cover the stream of tears running down her face. As an act of comfort, Cole gets closer to Nina, while Noah fetches tissues for her. Damn, those are some big-ass tears. Hugo, on the other hand, is puzzled. She said this whole thing had been going on for the past month, but something doesn't add up. And before nightfall, I think there is more to this than she is not that she, to this she is not admitting. Whatever happened with the letter, I am more than certain that whoever or whatever Lewis is, they're coming for blood. Obviously, we're gonna take the case. Do you want more tissues? We'll do it. We'll take on your case. For a moment, everything goes still. Their eyes and attention are solely directed at Hugo, whose eyes have a certain glint to them now, unwavering and more determined than ever. Before anyone else speaks, he stands up, wipes away any stray tears from her face, and walks up to him. You'll take it? Hugo simply nods. Thank you, thank you. You don't know how much this means to me. We're glad to help, miss. Nina, please, just call me Nina. Well, Nina, we'll do our best. Nina smiles at Hugo and Noah in gratitude. Her eyes reneal with a faint gleam, a hope that maybe things will change for her and her family for the better. However, before heading out, Nina reaches into her bag once more. She takes out a small piece of paper and a pen and hastily starts jotting down something. I best be on my way now. I'll let grandfather know ahead of time you'll be coming. What does that say? 4970 Church Street? Also, this is my address. I'll be sure to greet you all when you arrive. And thank you again, truly. She politely bows to them and walks out of her office. I thought this was said in America at first, but bowing? Honestly, not sure where this takes place now. Reaching into her purse for her card keys. Hugo watches from his desk as she goes to open the driver's seat. Nina looks back at the office window and takes one last look at Hugo. She waves slightly at him before finally pulling out of the parking lot and driving off. Once out of sight, Hugo turns to look at his cluttered desk. Still messy, but presentable. I guess I'll have to sort these out later, again. Car, 5:30 p.m. From the ongoing downpour to the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. Still miles off their destination, Hugo constantly checks the rearview mirror to see any passing cars. But it was only them on the road. Noah, who usually chats his ear off by now, leans quietly against the car door as he looks out to the passing streetlights, reserved and distant. He hasn't said a word to Hugo since they left the office. Hey, you are a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong? Ha, what a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Julia? No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot, that's all. So, do you miss me talking? Just say it. Just say it. Do you believe her story? What? Given all the things she's told us, do you think she's telling the truth? Yes, I believe her. Or at least I believe she hasn't lied to us. But you know, I can't shake this feeling that she is hiding something. Like if she left out certain details on purpose. Also, why did she have to travel this far out of town for a private eye? Surely there must have been another far closer to our home than ours. Chat, leave a comment down below if you know of any private detectives in your town, as I don't know of any in mine. I just don't know how to explain it. As expected of you, Hugo. Are you making fun of me? No, not at all. I'm just admiring your observations. I didn't want to offend Nina earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished. But her last name caught me off guard. Hmm? Have you ever heard about the Mortimers? They're a pretty distinguished family that owned an esteemed fishing company. Well, they used to, I believe. They've yet to name an heir. What do you mean? Shouldn't it naturally go to Nina? It should, but I don't know. From what I heard, each time they try to name a successor, that relative mysteriously disappears. What? Gone without a trace, or so anyone thought. Their bodies would soon turn up months after. And you know what's strange? All of them have been labeled as accidents by the local news. No foul play, just another unfortunate loss for the family. They've been struck with so many tragedies that over time, people began to believe they were cursed or something. Cursed? I think I can understand why she wouldn't go to the police again. They most likely thought she was seeing things and went along with the procedures just to keep face. But deep down, they must have thought she had gone mad. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find there? Is that why you decided to come with me? Well, partially. I'm more worried about you, though. Me? Why? Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decide to do some pretty reckless shit, I'll be there to drive you to the local hospital. Ugh. Besides, two is better than one. Exactly. I was fine with Colby coming with me. Well, have you heard that three is better than two? Ugh. Mortimer Estate, 6 p.m. Passing through countless dirt roads and steep cliffs, the estate can finally be seen beyond the evergreen. Nestled away from prying eyes, it stands tall, magnificent, and classic. Truly a rarity only afforded to the privileged. And yet, with all its opulence, it looms from a distance. You go and know it could only gaze at the sheer scale of the manor. Its grand gesture topples easily over the dozens of houses they've drove past. Still slouching, I see, Hugo. Wow, look at the size of it. I could never imagine seeing a house like this in person. It's almost too surreal. Come on, she's waiting for us. Immediately after exiting the driver's seat, a sudden sharp pain weighs heavily on Hugo's chest. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to gasp for air. His vision hazes as he leans close to the car, trying desperately to ground himself. Like a fish drawn out of the sea, he desperately heaves. The air in his lungs escaping too quickly burns as he feels his throat start to strain, drawing tighter the more he breathes. But this pain pales in comparison, while feeling far more excruciating. I have no clue what that word is. Is it the house? No, something far more sinister. He feels it. Someone is watching him. A piercing gaze fixed on him, like leering at a bug and waiting to strike. We'll be together soon, Henry. What the hell? Damn it, already? I need to hurry or else. Hey, are you alright? Neela calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixated trance. Colby nudges his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well-being. Did you just hear that? Did you hear that just now? Hear what? That voice. It was so close to my ear, Is everything alright? Oh, I'm fine. Don't mind me, I'm just a bit winded. Out from the rear trip, that's all. I'd be happy to make you tea at the very least, if it's no trouble. No, not at all. It's the least I can do. Once again, the subtle uneasiness from Nina surfaces. Before Hugo could get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. Are you sure you'll be alright? You sounded like you were choking earlier. I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't turn back now. Listen to me. I think you should. Noah abruptly cuts his lecture short as he notices Nina stopping by the front door. She stands by the door silently contemplating something. It's just like before, but this time she seems even more anxious. Whatever unease she tried to mask earlier became more apparent the minute they walked closer to the front door. I haven't been quite honest with you, Detective. Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decides that in this situation, words are not enough. You'll see for yourselves what I mean. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Dude, do not go in this house. Let the lady and her grandfather go. Hugo's about to enter through the foyer when he feels a tug on his arm. Don't forget what I told you. Something happens, let me know right away. You will be the first to know. And with that, Noah releases his grip on Hugo. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. Greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo noticed immediately that the interior is just as grand. Adored with flower accents and antiques furnishings, the house itself exudes the world elegance. A classic and rustic charm with the walls and floorings made from the finest wood. Hugo couldn't help but gape when he walked in. I think that word's supposed to be gasp, so Hugo couldn't help but gasp when he walked in. However, he notices something even more distinct in the splendor. Behind the seemingly perfect veneer, an unsettling air reaches throughout the house, leaving no room for doubt that the inside is far more terrifying than the outside. Please, come this way. Bracing themselves, they entered the dimly lit drawing room. That room was just bright a second ago. At first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated at the far corner. Only the sparse lighting from the window pierces through a fraction of the room's darkness. However, as they approach closer to the silhouette, Hugo now understands the reason for all Nina's unsettling vagueness. Grandfather, we have guessed. What the hell? First off, he looks young, like maybe as young as Nina, and his eyes are bright green. Sitting on the armchair is a very young man, not much older than Hugo or Noah. He is dressed modestly and shares none of the imposing presence of the manor. No, rather, such luxury does not remotely reflect on the man before them at all. It's as if the flow of time had stopped only for him, while the rest continued changing drastically without him. Just like the letter, timeless, delicate, and jarringly out of place. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there, dazed, with little acknowledgement of the people around him. Still, motionless, like a doll. Grandpa, these are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Laurent and his two assistants, Colby and Noah. They're going to help us. Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. The man before them is supposed to be frail and older than any of them, and yet he remains forever unchanging, forever young. They've come a long way, so I'll be making some tea. Would you also like some, Grandpa? He does not reply back, nor does he glance at Nina or anyone else in their room. Only fixates his gaze on the rain, nothing else. I'll be sure to make a cup for you, too. She then timidly gestures to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer. Hearing more questions, the two follow Nina outside. Before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. There is an all too familiar air about Henry Mortimer. His eyes, that are similar to his own. Whatever he must be longing for, Hugo knows it will never end well. Nina, that man. Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but Nina draws something out from her pocket. It's an old picture of a handsome man with slick back hair wearing the finest of suits. The gentleman in the picture has a different air to him, one of wealth and power, none of which reflects at all on the current Henry Mortimer. It's almost as if looking at two different people. It isn't much to go by, but believe me, they are the same person. Then why does he look so young? It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of water when I heard a loud thud coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked so different. He wore the same clothes as my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He looked younger. So many things were rushing through my head at the moment, and yet I know he felt familiar to me. I know it sounds bizarre, the more I talk about it, but that's what happened. That was awesome. The same night I found that letter. It was next to him, already opened. I'm sorry again for all this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. Pools of water, the letters, Lewis, and now this. I've been ignoring the signs for years and just blindly hoping they can get better if I try finding solutions on my own. That's not enough anymore. Maybe my family is really cursed. No, they're not. Curses aren't real. Detective, I think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In truth, the one who fixates on it makes it into reality. Rumors, doubts, lies. All of those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you are caught up in all of this. But I assure you, we'll see this through. For you and Mr. Mortimer. Thank you. Good. Now, our first priority is to find out more about Lewis. Nina, the letter you showed us back at the agency. Do you have it with you? Ah, yes, it's here. Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back. Of course, but what are you going to do with it? I've searched everything on that letter and still couldn't come up with any clues. Ah, I'll be using it as a reference or a guide, if you will. I'm afraid I can't discuss too much of the process. Trade secret and all that. Ha 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 ha. Ah, of course. Hugo, sorry. I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor. Got it. Before they leave to do their own investigation, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder and leans in close enough for Nina to not hear. Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina, especially Nina. I don't want her to be dragged any more than she already is. So whatever happens, keep her safe. Hugo, you? Fine, but remember, yell for me, okay? I know. Thank you, Noah. I'm counting on you. You too, boy. The final nod at them, Hugo then goes toward the stairs and heads upstairs. Noah stares for a moment longer at Hugo's back before he disappears into the first floor. He then turns to look at Colby. Well, it's time we get to work. Right, Colby? Investigation starts. The objective is to look around the area for objects to proceed the story. Use the arrows or keys to move to a different location. Outlines will appear on clickable objects. Mr. Mortimer still sits motionless by the corner of his room, his gaze never leaving the rain. Okay. A large bookshelf stands close to the entrance. It contains a couple of photo albums and a few phone calls. I did not read the instructions at all, chat. I should have. I didn't. I just... A delicate arrangement of violets and white roses. They seem to be freshly and fairly new. An old rotary dial phone. It looks like it's still in good use. Frames decorating the walls are covered in white sheets veiled with a thin lining of dust on the top of each one. Wow, there are so many paintings covering the walls. Are there more like this all over the house? Yes, my grandfather commissioned many back in the day, but sadly, he doesn't do that anymore. Nina, I can't help but notice the paintings are covered. How come? I did that. I covered them up for my grandfather's sake. For his sake? Yes. He was pretty obsessed with them, you see. There were times when he would mutter to himself and would just stare at the paintings for days on end. It worried me so much that I had to cover them all up. Since then, he hasn't stared at any of them. He just sits quietly looking around. I see. About the paintings, I also noticed they all have a similar theme. They all had water in them. I know this isn't a coincidence, since you've told us before, but if there's anything you know, anything at all, then please tell me. Noah, can I ask you a question first? Sure, go ahead. Do you believe in mermaids? Mermaids? I don't suppose I do. Why? Casting her gaze on to the floor, Nina anxiously fidgets and tightly clasps her hands. Okay, chat theory time. One of the monsters she may be facing is some kind of weird siren. For those of you who don't know what sirens are, it's a type of mermaid that lures in sailors with their call. You might have heard the term like a siren song, just referring to something that's alluring and tempting, but not good for you. I'm guessing this creature is some kind of siren. She then briefly sighs and continues. Well, there's this story, or rather more like a fairy tale that my family has passed down. A fairy tale? Yes, well, it feels like one to me. It was about a fisherman who fell in love with a mermaid. Every day and night he would go out by shore to gaze at her beauty, but one day she vanished, leaving him confused and heartbroken. Determined, he would sail many seas for a chance to see her again. Sailing from coast to coast, new lands beyond, and back. He would go. Not long after, fortune followed him all throughout his journey, and it made him one of the wealthiest and most highly respected in his village. However, despite all the wealth he gained through his travels, he never found the mermaid again. She would only be a dream, nothing more. And that's the end of the story. It doesn't end happily, but I guess there was a lesson behind all of it. I just never understood it. What do you think happened to the mermaid? I know it's an exaggeration, and yet I can't help but wonder. It's hard to say. I just feel a bit bad for both. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of sad endings. If it were me, I would wish the fisherman and the mermaid could see each other again. Or at least that's what I think. Even if they weren't meant to be with each other. Chat, another theory. Nina is a mermaid, and she's doing something causing all this shit to happen. Yeah, I think so, at least. I wouldn't want to imagine going through a journey all by myself. It's hard being alone. A journey all by yourself. Mortimer State, 30 p.m. After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here. This is it. Hugo walks to the nearest lampshade and switches it on. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From customized window drapes to the vintage furnishing, everything here exudes the extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one particularly reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is moldering, despite its preserved nature. An old photo of a lost time, a sweet summertime memory of a little girl with her beloved grandfather. Atop, atop the fireplace, unblemished and unmarked by time, hangs a curious and familiar painting of a beautiful woman floating on the water. I guess we'll see that later. A meticulously organized set of academic books, ranging from non-fiction to geography. All are on display, however, hidden away behind the vast collection are some children's fairy tales, all kept carefully. A classic wooden chest lies at the foot of the canopy bed. Its lock still firmly holds, safeguarding whatever is inside. Scattered pieces of paper are all forgotten, lie waiting on the cold floor. Heavily etched markings are found scrawled all over papers. A leather-bound journal rests on the edge of the table. Its pages are torn out so haphazardly that the binding itself is starting to fall out. Oh, sorry, the binding itself is starting to fall out. A pristine pearl-white tea set sits patiently by, untouched and unused for quite some time. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. Mortimer State, 11:50 p.m. He searches and searches, and still there is no sign of Lewis. To Hugo, even if there is a fragment, a singular thread to that person, to their real selves, he could find them. But there is nothing. No one, not one thing pertaining to him. It's as if the thought of Lewis barely exists at all. And chat, that's where we're going to end this video for today. Hope you all have had a good time. And I promise you all that next week I will be coming out with part 2 of Stillwater.